I'm Teleri Glyn Jones, also coming up on the programme. Bore da, good morning. What a week in Welsh politics. We've had a ministerial sacking over leaked messages, the appointment of a new minister to replace her, and Plaid Cymru pulling out of the cooperation deal with the Welsh Labour government. There was speculation of unhappiness in the Labour ranks, but Vaughan Gething has survived another bruising week as First Minister. The turbulence surrounding his leadership has overshadowed major policy announcements by some of his ministers. Jeremy Mall set out his vision for the economy, and Ranka Davies put the brakes on the controversial post-Brexit subsidy scheme for farmers and announced a change of heart to on-farm slaughtering of cattle with TB. So there's plenty to discuss with the Farming Secretary. I spoke to him a little earlier and began by asking him what the delay to the sustainable farming scheme was for.
Genuinely, there's maybe a slightly better way to do it. Things like carbon sequestration, soil, trees, the balance, etc.
Another way of talking about trees, that essentially you're conceding that there is an alternative to tree planting to sequester carbon. But how do you do that? You know, it won't be news to people that farmers are the bedrock of the fabric of rural life. And, you know, everyone, people understand that, or I think rural people have understood that forever. Maybe the Welsh government hasn't. I'm sensing a real change in tone here from you compared to...
as well. So we'll do the economic analysis.
There's plenty more for us to get onto. You've also had, an announcement on TB this week that's been... Well, joining me now to discuss the week's events are the leaders of the two opposition parties in the Senedd. Andrew, but you've known about these donations for quite some time now. Why now? What's changed this week?
Oh, I think it would have been wrong to take a knee-jerk decision.
Llyn ap Iorwerth, leader of Plaid Cymru, and Andrew R.T. Davies, leader of the Welsh Conservatives. Thank you both very much for joining me on this tumultuous week in Welsh politics. And to try and make sense of it all and to get a glimpse behind the scenes of the bubble, I was joined a little earlier by Media Wales's political editor, Ruth Mazalski, and I began by asking her, how big is the rift in the Labour Party really? And finally, this morning, events in the Senedd aren't the only political drama playing out in Cardiff Bay this week. You can't have missed the fact that Michael Sheen has brought his portrayal of Aneurin Bevan, the Welsh founder of the NHS, to the stage of the Wales Millennium Centre, but has playing a politician, and not for the first time, inspired him to switch from acting to the political stage. A question my colleague BBC Wales's culture correspondent Lorna Pritchard put to him ahead of Nye's opening night. Watch out, Welsh politics. And that's it for this week. My thanks to my guests and, of course, to you for watching. And if you'd like to get in touch, the email address is bbcpoliticswales@bbc.co.uk. I'll be back next Sunday at 10, but until then, have a great week.